Ooh. This idea of $44 silver, $50 silver. Do you find it a little hard to believe? I understand. But guys, we got to remember something. That's less than a double from where we are right now. And if we look back at history, and we will do that in this video, the idea of silver going from $28, $29 per ounce to $50 and then even higher is not out of the question. The one thing that also is not out of the question is the fact how much we appreciate you. Yes, you. There's one you. It's a big deal. You've taken your time to join us here in the basement. Hey, welcome to the club. You're welcome here. You belong here. Please subscribe to the channel, become a basement dweller, leave a comment in the comment section. Your comment could be featured during a live stream. Send me an email, whatever you want to do. You're part of the group. Thank you for being here. Let's dive into what I think is a fascinating piece of an analytical work by Mike Mahari. And guys, when we're done with this, it's going to leave no doubt in your mind that we could absolutely get to $50 silver and much higher. This was on silverseek.com. Great website. It says a silver teacup. Are you ready for a silver teacup, basement dwellers? But what does this have to do with $50 silver? You're going to find out real soon. This epic 45-year silver pattern could have traders drooling. Put your bibs on, my fellow basement dwellers. Yes, sometimes we drool. He says gold's been on quite a bull run this year, but silver has lagged. Very important thing for us to remember. We'll touch on that more later. The wide gold to silver ratio tells us that silver is historically underpriced compared to gold. And it's clear that the white metal isn't priced for the supply-demand dynamics, right? Pointing out two important things: crazy gold to silver ratio and crazy supply-demand dynamics. Points out with a little over 50% of silver demand comes from industrial offtake. But at silver's core, and I think a lot of us, do you agree? You know what? Put it in the comment section. Do you look at silver as more of an industrial metal, a monetary metal? I think we all agree that it's both. But which one do you think holds more weight? I'll tell you my answer. I think monetary, but that's just my opinion. I'd be curious to get a kind of an idea and for you guys to see what your fellow basement dwellers think, because he says at its core, silver is a monetary metal, and it tends to generally track with gold over time, albeit in a more volatile manner. After I read this article, I was so pumped up because it just we're headed to higher silver. My opinion, don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying here. Don't decide to get engaged, adopt a puppy, buy silver futures contracts, do anything. I'm just giving you my truth. And this to me points it out very clearly. What can the price chart tell us about silver? We've looked at this, guys, right? Probably 2 million times, a secular cup and handle, but really, we can't look at it enough, right? Look at that cup and handle pattern. I mean, like nothing we've seen before. But he points out some very interesting facts about this. It's a long-term bullish pattern, okay? This cup and handle pattern has played out over an extremely long time frame. Have you heard? I've heard some people say it's like, from a time frame perspective, the longest cup and handle in the history of the universe. Historically, longer patterns portend, I really don't know what that word means, but I would say maybe predict, bigger breakouts with a broader base signaling a bigger upside case. Whew, let me go back to that. I was laughing. I'm kind of embarrassed. My vocabulary seems to be a bit limited. I do know what bifurcate means. Okay, a longer pattern predicts bigger breakouts with a broader base, which meaning a longer base, signaling a bigger upside case. That kind of rhymes too. A bigger breakouts with a broader base, signaling a bigger upside. We need to make a silver cup and handle song. Could one of you write that for me? I'll be glad to sing it. This is critical. Gold followed a similar long-term pattern, resolving with a breakout to new all-time highs last year. I'm sorry, gold followed a similar pattern. If that's, I think I said silver, resolving a breakout to new all-time highs last year. And what did we know, right? Silver has lagged gold's performance, but that's actually like the most common of common occurrences. That's like what every silver and gold investor knows. Gold goes first, makes a big move, and then silver follows. Excuse me. If history is any indication, and guys, isn't history usually an indication, right? Silver may soon follow gold's lead. Thanks again to Mike Mahari for putting this together. I think this is probably one of the best silver. Do you guys agree? One of the best silver articles I've seen in a long, long time. Listen to this. In red, after gold's recent breakout above $2,500 per ounce, gold's continued strength above that key level should act like a magnet to pull the silver towards the $50 level. All right, a magnet to pull silver towards 50. We know about the big cup and handle, okay? In green, should it occur? Oh, come on, Mike, it's going to occur, man. We're rooting for you. Mike, we like Mike, a decisive break above $50 silver. Above $50 silver? What? Are you a silver pumper? You know, I get all these emails about 2% say you're nothing but a silver pumper. You're up to something, blah, blah. No, I just really believe this, guys. Okay. I really believe it. And you know what? I got a really mean comment yesterday from this guy saying, you put out too much content and we're sick of your crazy predictions and blah, blah, blah. And you know what I said back to that guy? I said, you know what? You don't have to watch Ron's Basement. Here's an idea, right? If you see a thumbnail with my beautiful face on it, kind of a combination of Robert Redford, Justin Bieber, and Oscar the Grouch, don't click on it. I'm sorry, I digress. Should it occur, a decisive break above $50 silver? I don't force anybody to watch this. You guys are here because we like to come together and we like to talk about this stuff. I mean, if you don't, it's not like I Velcro anybody to their seat and force them to watch. All right, I'm done talking about that. Should it occur? Let's get back to $50 silver. A decisive break above $50 silver would complete an epic 45-year cup and handle pattern. And market technicians would then look for a slingshot move higher from there. Remember, that's that rubber band that I like to show you guys from time to time. Here, let me show you real quick. Let me say hi to you. Hi. Hi, basement dwellers, right? This is the slingshot. This is gold, okay? This is silver, and even the colors represent it. The gold price is stretched out, right? This is 80, 90 to 1 gold to silver ratio. When that starts to compress, hold on, slingshot, okay? Whew, feel like I just worked out. Let's get back to the article. Oh, where is the article? Oh, no. Hold on. What happened? Did I lose my article? All right. Deep breath. There we go. All right. Hold on, guys. Sorry for the... Okay. Slingshot. Move higher from there. Zooming into a 5-year chart, we can clearly see silver breaking out from its post-pandemic consolidation wedge, right? There's the wedgie. We talked about that a lot, right? I mean, and silver broke out, which is good, is staying above, right? We don't want to go below $26, but we're seeing a solid move out of that area. Putting it all together, as the saying goes, history doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes and it often does repeat. When we see these kinds of patterns emerge, one should sit up and take notice. Everybody sit up with me. It feels better to sit up. Have a sip of coffee as well. This is especially true when it coincides with fundamentals. So what he's saying is these charts are pointing toward $50 plus silver, but it's not just the charts. It's the fundamentals as well. Okay. He talks about the gold to silver. Oh, this is interesting. The gold to silver ratio is historically wide right now at 87 to 1. Yes, it'll take you 87, 90 ounces of silver to get just one little measly ounce of gold. I love gold, but I'm not going to trade 90 ounces of silver. Are you? I mean, really? Meaning, okay, like you just said, to buy an ounce of gold. To put that into perspective, the average in the modern era has been between 40 and 60. So typically in modern times, which we all live in, right? We live in interesting times, Bidenomics, everything else. But nonetheless, during average modern times, the gold to silver ratio has been between 40 and 60 to 1. If we average that to 50 to 1, what does that give us for what the silver price should be? It should take 50 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. That would be a 50 to 1 gold to silver ratio. $50 silver, a gold to silver ratio of 50 to 1. In other words, from a historical perspective, silver is underpriced. Historically, the ratio has always returned to the mean, and it has done so with a vengeance, overshooting that means. The ratio fell to 30 to 1. Guys, that would be above $80 silver, just so you know. In 2011, this is great. Okay, and below 20 to 1 in 1979. But let's just go to 2011, because most of us can remember 2011. All right. The gold to silver ratio hit 30. That would be above $80 per ounce silver. Let's go. What a great segue into this next segment, because look what I got this morning, guys. Look what I got from one of you. Yes, I told you, right? Send me an email, send me a text, whatever, leave a comment. This came from our friend David. He's a veterinarian, okay? Smart guy. Lives down in Florida, right? He sent this to me in 2011, like we just talked about, when the gold to silver ratio got down to 30, okay? $27 silver to $48.50 silver just 13 years ago. $27 to $48, but it'll never do that. I'm just a silver pumper. Over a 12-week period. Look at this. Wow. You know, I mean, guys, it happens. Repeat performance, if not by Christmas, by next spring. Thank you, David, for sending that and for the great reminder, right, of the good times that we're in for. But there's more I want to talk to you about when it comes to what is going on in that. Remember what Mike Mahari stated. We've got a massive, epic cup and handle in the silver market that shows that we could get to $50 silver and beyond, okay? But what makes it always so interesting is that gold already did it, okay? Gold broke out from its cup and handle. We're at all-time highs in gold. But are you considering the fact, right, that silver always lags gold, okay? So silver, it's not unusual that it's not broken out, but it's going to break out. It will break out, okay? No guarantees, no guarantee. I can't guarantee, but doesn't it feel like it? Then we consider the fundamental factors. And then I also think that it's critical that when we look at the price of silver in foreign countries like Canada, Australia, India, Argentina, we talked about this yesterday. In particular, Australia, excuse me, they've got a big cup and handle. It's either broken out or really near to breaking out. Sure, that's pricing silver in foreign currencies, but guys, that doesn't matter. That will be more power, more magnet. People are sending me emails from Australia saying that the bullion is becoming more challenging. I'm not going to say it's gone or there's a shortage, but they're noticing stress in those markets as well. And what we know here in the United States, when it comes to 90% silver, right? Our friend Coin Shop Chris, who, by the way, has his own YouTube channel now. You can go visit it at Coin Shop Chris. But Coin Shop Chris is the 90% silver guru. He's putting out warnings. He's like, you know, sounding the alarm, right? 90% silver. He says shortage, right? I'll say stress. Either way, whether you slice it or dice it, that is a sign of things to come domestically here in the United States. We know that in the West, right, ETF purchases of gold and silver are on the rise. Okay, guys, it's happening, and it's happening right now. This is some more fascinating data about how will silver, what do we have to expect? What does previous data tell us about what we can expect for silver in the coming months? We'll run through this quickly, but first, guys, let's go out and check on the gold. And we're going to talk about the CPI numbers. We're going to talk about stagflation. We're going to talk about silver going up 10 times in value. But let's run out to our friends at Pimbex and check on the gold silver price. Okay, gold, we're down 10. Silver, we're down 17 cents per ounce. Gold's still above 2,500 per ounce. Silver taking a little bit of a hit. Boy, we've moved a lot today. I think we were as high as 29 at one point. We'll talk about these CPI numbers. It's really not worth us spending a lot of time on. It's water under the bridge at this point, and it's really a bunch of BS. But nonetheless, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex. They make this live stream possible. They make videos possible. They make the channel possible. They make our basement dweller community possible. So if you decide that you want to buy yourself some silver, gold, or platinum, you're going to buy it online, shop around, but please just give Pimbex a chance. Compare prices, okay? Compare what other customers say about their awesome experiences with Pimbex, right? Realize what I say about Pimbex. I just looked back, my most recent purchase from Pimbex. I bought some of those 2023 silver Britannias with King Charles on them. I'll vouch. I've always had great experiences with Pimbex, and they've always got a great selection. And please, 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 if you ever decide to convert an IRA, take your time, talk to Pimbex. Compare what they can do for you to what these other companies that spend a lot of money on high-paid celebrity endorsers and commercial time on the big cable networks. Compare what Pimbex can do for you with what those companies. I think you will be shocked. Let's go take a look at you right now, basement dwellers. Oh, we're taking it on the chin. We talked about this yesterday. Today was going to be a volatile day for the markets. We talked about the fact that if the metals go down, it's not the end of the world, right? It's okay. We need some consolidation. We're getting that right now. Everything's going to be okay. Trust me. Trust me, guys. When it comes to the silver price and the gold price, okay, as we head into October, November, December, we're going to be putting some boots on the warehouse floor. It'll be time for us to buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to hit $44 silver by Christmas. You watch. That's my prediction. Again, could be wrong. Don't make any financial decisions based upon my in-depth analysis, which is right about 58.7% of the times. All right, let's take a look at this. This was interesting. Very interesting. 4 quick charts we're going to run through from Kitco and our friend at Kitco, Ernest Hoffman. Silver's biggest gains and losses happen during the same months each year. Did you know that, guys? Okay. But the post C19 period has bucked some trends. Okay. This comes from Ernest Hoffman, again at Kitco. And he got this data from Investing Haven. Just one quick quote before we go look at these charts. Silver, like many other commodities, exhibits seasonal patterns that investors can use. You can use this information, basement dwellers, to inform their investment strategies. Unless you're like me and you just buy silver like I have over the last 20 years and never sell any because it's a generational investment. But nonetheless, this is interesting. Okay, this shows, first chart, we got 4 to go through, shows that from January through February, most years, this is 4 years, the last 4 years of data, that through January through February, March, we usually have an upswing in the silver price, but then again, a big upswing, typically starting in June and going through the September, October timeframe. But then after that, kind of flat. Okay, so this historical 4-year data says kind of flat is what we can be looking for through the end of the year. This is 30 years. Make sure I got you on the screen, which I do. As you can see, kind of hidden here, this is 30 years of data of the silver. Again, all right, January through April-ish over the last 30 years has typically been a very strong period for the silver price. Guys, will somebody remind me in January to buy a bunch of like futures contracts on silver? Okay, but then you see a pullback, right? Through June, blah, blah, blah. Then a big upswing again through August-ish time frame. Then usually a bit of a pullback, which is kind of what we got this year. But then, guys, look at this. Again, right? 30 years of data show kind of flat. I mean, this is not that big of a move from like an index of 104 down to a 102. Hardly any move, like a 2% range over that September, October, November, December timeframe. So that's historically, we should be looking at some flatness. Now, you know what I think, right? And this data doesn't mean that this is exactly what will happen. I believe we're in a unique situation this year with the BRICS, with the election coming up. It's going to be an interesting remainder of the year, an interesting remaining 3.5 months. Okay, this is really interesting. This shows the percentage of months in which silver closed higher than it opened. So this is and this is for 5 years. Well, part of it's 4 years, part of it's 5 years because we're in October. So this October, November, December, and should be September data is 4 years data, 5 years back then. But nonetheless, this shows each month, right? And the percentage of each month that over the last 4 years, 5 years, that the silver price closed higher. Look at October. It has closed higher 100% of the time. The price of silver went up during the month of October 100% of the time over the last 4 to 5 years. November, December. So look, that's kind of new data. April's a very good month, historically speaking, but let's look at the same data over what I believe would be a longer period of time. Same data, all right? Did silver go up or down during the month over the last 20 years? And again, October, 68% of the time over the last 20 years, the price of silver has gone up. September, 40%. Okay, but look at this trend from January through June. Typically a little down, but January and February are good months for silver. July, good month for silver. And again, as we head into the end of the year here, it looks like based on 20 years of data, we got a pretty good shot at the silver price actually going up. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Kitco. Thank you, Ernest. Losses are seasonal, right? And we are in a unique set of circumstances right now. Right, end of October, we have Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, right? Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, and a bunch of other countries meeting in Russia. The BRICS. Have you heard of the BRICS? You guys ever heard of this thing called the BRICS? Yeah. Okay. And they're talking about, we got a big news report out of the TASS news agency, the Russian news agency, hidden over the weekend, and very few people are talking about it. Our friend Chris Marcus at Arcadia had some information about it, but they're going to be like getting serious down to business in terms of setting up trade settlement currencies between those countries. And they're talking about 40% gold backing. And there's even some talk about the other 60% of this trade currency will be backed by the respective currencies of the countries which are involved in this. But they basically have to be kind of backed by gold as well. We're in a new era for precious metals. And who knows what's going to happen in the United States. I don't want bad things to happen. But guys, the fact is a fact. We are in one of the people hate each other in this country right now. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Obviously, we had a big debate last night. But man, when I talk to people as a neutral party that are either what is it, red or blue, they don't like each other. I'm not a political show. I'm not going to make any political statements. I have my own views. I'll keep them to myself. Bidenomics, it's working. But nonetheless, people aren't happy with each other. We could be, it could be, and a lot of people don't even, it's weird. They don't talk about it with each other. It's a strange situation. Who knows how that one's going to play out? Okay. Hey, this is exciting. This could be the secret weapon for precious metals. Let's go out to just a couple quick headlines that we're seeing. And I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. We're all going to have a little break. We're going to absorb what we've talked about because we got a lot more to talk about. And we're all going to have a quick sip of coffee. And we're going to turn the microphone back on. Man, it's a big deal you're here. Thank you, right? You, okay? I know it's me, it's you, and we're a big group of people, but it's not a big group of people without you. Please leave comments, okay? None of us has all the answers. We can help each other, right? And together we can figure this mess out. And if nothing else, right? And it's not nothing else, it's a big deal. You've got some friends here in the basement. You're part of the group. You belong here. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about what could be a big, massive deal coming down the road for the precious metals. Hold on here. Hold on here. Looks like I forgot to pull that up. I apologize. Hold on here. Let's go. You guys are going to get a behind the scenes tour of Ron's basement. Hold on. Stay with me. Hopefully we didn't lose everybody. Is the live stream dead? Can somebody give me a 5x5? Hello? Susie, am I still live? Hello? Do, 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 do. Here we go. I think we're still live. And okay. Hello, basement dwellers. Okay, there you are. Hey, guys. All right. Let's go out and take a look at this because this is big news in the silver and gold market. Here we are. Okay. Money market funds hit another record high, but experts warn it's time to move out of cash where they see the opportunity. All right. Okay. Why is this a big deal? This is the biggest sleeper deal for the silver and gold market. All right. Now they locked me out of it. But so let's go back here. And let's hold on. See what this pulls up. Okay. U.S. money market funds hit a record high. A Bloomberg article. All right. U.S. money market, a safe haven. Why is this a huge deal for the silver price and the gold price? Very simple. People have a record amount of money in money market funds. People are scared. That's scared money. That's money they don't want to have in the stock market. That's money they don't want to have in the real estate market. And that money is going to soon start losing real value, real return. Real interest rates are going to go negative. Okay. Doesn't matter. We're going to see the Fed cut rates soon, right? On September, 18th? We're going to get a 1/4 point rate cut from the Fed. And we'll probably have a few more rate cuts, blah, blah, blah. So these guys that have this record amount of money in money market accounts are going to stop making 5%, and soon they'll be making 4 or 3%. But what really matters, and we heard it this morning, clear as day, what really matters is that inflation is going to skyrocket. The Fed has given up. The talking heads on CNBC are saying it. I'll say it to you. The Fed has given up. The Fed knows they can't win the fight on inflation. Guys, the national debt, the overall fiscal situation in this country, the Fed absolutely knows they can't win. So they're giving up on the fight in inflation. So what's going to happen as we move forward is that independent of what the rate of return is that people can get on their money market accounts, they're going to start to realize that inflation is far outstripping any 2 or 3 or 4% that record amount of money that they have in money market accounts can earn. Okay, that's the reality of what's going to happen. Let's go out here, and I want to show you something that I think shows it in uncertain terms. Here, what happens when the Fed lowers rates? It's this right here, Exter's Pyramid. Don't worry, we'll come back to it. I know it's a fan favorite. Okay, but the facts are this. People won't make the 5%, like we just talked about, and they're still going to be looking for a safe harbor. Doesn't matter if the Fed lowers rates by 0.5% or 2% over the next year. What matters is that inflation is going to skyrocket. And when it does, they're not going to realize that what that means is negative real interest rates. That's the fancy way to describe what's going on. What they're going to realize is that the little measly amount of money they're making on their CDs and their money market accounts is not keeping up with inflation. Okay. And the stock market at the same time, at best, will be stagnant. And these people don't want to put that money in the stock market anyway. If they'd wanted to put that record amount of money market money into the stock market, they would have done that already. So they're especially not going to do it when they're hearing that the market is struggling. Okay. And not to mention maybe going down, because the stock market's going to be in big trouble, probably over the next 5 to 10 years. Because as inflation is going up, cost will be going up for businesses, while at the same time, the economy will be stagnant at best and in a recession. Okay. The other issue is people aren't going to put that money into real estate. What they're going to do, is go to gold and silver. That's safe money. That's money market money. That's CD account money. A lot of these people are going to get the cojones at that point to be willing to move into silver and gold. And don't forget, we talked about this. The seed has already been planted, right? It's bizarre how our fellow Americans, right, 99% of them won't buy physical silver and gold right now. Yet, if you ask them what are the most valuable things on the planet, they'd probably say gold and silver. My kids know it, and they're 12 years old. So that's what's going on. This shows just how it can happen. Of course, this is our Exter's Pyramid. All right, gold and silver are at the base. Everything above it, all this stuff, base money, bank money, government bonds, corporate, all of it is fake paper, synthetic, all right, make-believe. And as the people wake up, that's where that money is absolutely going to flow. Okay, absolutely. Okay, let's all have a sip of coffee, and then we will be right back. Almost forgot to turn the microphone back on. So we got our big, hold on, I haven't looked at you enough this morning. We got our big CPI number this morning. We talked about it yesterday. We warned today could be a volatile day for the precious metals, and so far it has proven to be. But let's talk about the exciting part of what we learned, right, from this inflation report. And let's first just do an update. Maybe things have gotten better. Maybe they've gotten worse. We're going to press the Pimbex magic button, and they've gotten a little worse. Gold's now down $11 per ounce. Silver down 30. Maybe we'll come back and check on that a little bit later. Let's look at what CNBC had to say this morning. Oh, wow. The Dow Jones Industrial Average drops 600 points. Woof. Crazy. Consumer prices. This is what they're saying about the CPI. Consumer prices rose 0.2% in August as annual inflation rate hits lowest level since early 2021. Everything's great. Everything's awesome in the economy. We're living in a fantasy world where the mainstream media just wants to feed us over and over. Everything's fine. The GDP numbers, they're great, right? The jobs numbers, they're great. unless you're one of those 818,000 people that doesn't have a real job, but a make-believe unicorn fart dust, a job that they erroneously reported people had back last year. We won't go down that path, but mainstream media reports this. Everything is awesome. What is Zero Hedge saying? Zero Hedge says this, right? Core inflation comes in hotter than expected. What is core inflation? Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Collapsing odds of a 50. So now what they're saying is basically the core inflation came in high. Now the Fed is no longer this idea that the Fed might cut by 0.5% next week, a week from a week from today or a week from tomorrow. That's off the table. We're going to get a 1/4 point cut. That's okay. The Fed can't really cut rates. The Fed doesn't. Guys, the bottom line is this. Without a doubt, the Fed needs inflation, okay? We need to get that through our thick basement dweller skulls. The only way they can keep the fantasy world alive, that they can keep the ultra wealthy, ultra rich, and ultra happy, and continue. And this is not tinfoil hat conspiracy speak when I say this. This is borne out by statistics, right? Keep the ultra wealthy, and keep the middle class of America decimated, and there's no other way to describe what is done. The only way they can do that is to perpetuate this horrific financial situation that the country's in, right? This debt spiral that we're in, and the only way they can perpetuate it, keep it going, right, which is what they'll do, they're desperate, is by printing money and monetizing debt, which basically means driving down the value of the US dollar, the real value, which means runaway inflation, which means you and me will be very happy that we own real assets up to and including the best real asset on the face of the planet, which would be precious metals. Okay, so when we talk about core CPI, what is core CPI? Well, core CPI, that takes out the cost of food and fuel, I think it is. Let's go look. We're going to go to the Federal Reserve's website, not just any Federal Reserve. Where is it? Hold on here. I had it up somewhere. What is happening? Uh-oh. Core. Hold on here. Here we go. We got it. This is Fred. I don't know why they call it Fred, but it's the St. Louis Fed. Whatever. You can bash St. Louis, but we got a Fed here in St. Louis. This is the consumer price. This is the core CPI. Look at this, guys. Let's just look at this quickly. I want to draw on here also and show you something that I think is very fascinating. Okay. There it is. Let's get our crayons out. We're going to move this out of the way. Look at 1971. This shows, again, Consumer Price Index, okay, since 1971. This is when they took us off the gold standard, okay? That shows in no uncertain terms what has happened to the value of the U.S. dollar since silver and gold were taken out of the backing of the U.S. dollar. Okay, look at this. From an index perspective, we went from, let's say 50 all the way up to 320. That means prices have gone up 6 times on average, and that's if we even want to believe their data. That's what happens when you take silver and gold out of money. That's what happens, okay, when you go against what the founding fathers, are you going to argue with me and call me a nut? Are they going to call us nuts because we believe in silver and gold? Well, what were we all taught as children, right? The U.S. Constitution, the epitome, the top of documents for our country, right? right? What did other people like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Andrew Jackson, what do they all say, right? Right? But since they took silver and gold out of our money, like our founding fathers laid out for us. I want to say this very quickly about our founding fathers. Think about yourself right now. Me, think about, us as individuals living in 2024. When they wrote the Constitution, they were thinking about us. Okay. Now we're good, right? We're thinking about them, right? We know the truth. We know what's going on, or it's our truth. We believe in the U.S. Constitution, right? 99% of Americans, while the founding fathers were thinking of them, they don't think about the founding fathers at all. Some of you even say, oh, the Constitution's outdated, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know about that. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about core CPI. Core CPI is this, okay? This measurement, known as the core CPI, is widely used by economists because food and energy have very volatile prices. So the core CPI continues to go up. It is really a measure of long-term inflation. So long-term inflation is continuing to skyrocket in this country. And we have not seen anything. I mean, guys, we have not seen anything yet. You better be ready, okay? Because 2025, and I'll sit down here and say I'm wrong. I'm calling $44 silver by Christmas. I'll sit down here and say I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, in 2025, 1 year from now, September 11th, an easy day to remember. And let's all remember, right? Where is our flags, right? I got some flags up today. What happened on September 11th? But September 11th next year, right? That's inflation day. I guarantee you, we're going to be all over the news. Inflation skyrocketing. Inflation's skyrocketing. It is going to be ugly. But there's a silver lining to it. Pardon the pun, right? Something for you to be happy about. Don't we want to be happy, basement dwellers? By the way, before I forget, thank you to all the moderators who are here. Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. I see you. I don't know if Annie's here. It's hard for me to watch all the comments. Annie Oakley, thank you. Susie, Big Tim the Silvershire, and thank you, individuals, for being here and contributing to the basement. But back to next year. Ugly time, ugly zone, ugly, ugly, ugly. And the silver lining, and it's a good thing for you and me, is that next year we could see that big wave, that massive wave of people coming into the precious metals market. Guys, it's not a trip to Ron's basement without a couple things. Let's go see. We'll press the magic Pimbex button one more time and see if we can get a higher gold price. We can. It improved. Now only down $10.89. Thank you, Pimbex. But let's go out to this. Let's be real. Let's be real. I didn't hear this discussed at all last night. Did you hear this discussed last night? Right? No, 35 trillion. We always have to make sure every day that it's not going down, and it's going up. There's 800,000. Let's see how long it takes for $100,000. $100,000 in debt. Okay. Hold on. We'll start over here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds for us to acquire another $100,000 in debt. Think if we had told Andrew Jackson, or if we gone back to, Hamilton that wrote the Constitution, Benjamin Franklin, and said, guys, in the year 2024, the United States will be racking up $100,000 in debt every 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever that was. I forget. Those guys we would have had to put them in some Depends diapers. I mean, they would not have believed it. Just for fun, let's go over and take a look. It's at 483 today, the dollar to silver ratio. Unbelievable. All right. That's what we have. That's what's underpinning our dollar. That's what, as we are right now in what is a battle, precious metals precious metals investors, this includes you, right? There is a massive, massive showdown at the OK Corral going on right now in our world between the dollar and precious metals. Okay. And what does the dollar have in its favor? Okay. One thing it does have, we have to admit, are aircraft carriers and a very, very big, sophisticated military. Okay. But outside of that, it's not backed by silver and gold anymore. It kind of broke up with silver and gold a little while back. Okay. But it also has that, what we just looked at, $35 trillion in debt. When we look at unfunded liabilities, some people say it's like 100 trillion, 200 trillion. I don't know. It's just mind numbing. Future obligations for pension payments, for Social Security, for Medicare and Medicaid. It's a paper facade. It's this. You know what? Somebody help me. It's not really paper. It's linen. I got yelled at once, but nonetheless, it's this. Woohoo. Yay. Okay. Paper money. Yay. Believe in me. I'm paper. Okay. That's what the dollar has in its favor. What does this have? Here's three beautiful, right? Silver dollars. Listen, this is heavy. Okay. Look, when I hold this in my hand, I encourage you to do this at home. I hold this over here and this over here, even just one of these. I mean, and they're works of art. They're real, right? This does a Morgan. Look at this thing. This is from 1878. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the back of this. If you don't have one of these, you got to get one. They're not that expensive. Look at that. I mean, hold this in one hand and hold this in the other hand. I mean, anybody, a 6-year-old, if you asked them, what do you want, this or this? They want this, right? So this battle that's going on, let me tell you something. This doesn't want to fight. Imagine this fighting this, like rock, paper, scissors. We're going to play a game of where'd it go? Here's the Morgan. I love the eagle. I love the Morgan in general. Man, isn't that just beautiful, guys? Look at that. You got to get yourself one of those. Beautiful. Right, imagine a fight between these two. I mean, there's no, this guy's shaking. Look, he shakes. He trembles. This doesn't shake or tremble. The dollar doesn't want the fight. Oh, and by the way, this fight, last time I'll show it. This fight between silver and paper money. Okay, this in my left hand could be anything. Could be a Venezuelan piece of currency. Could be a Argentina peso. Could be a Roman drachma or whatever the heck they were. I don't know. It could be, this could be any of hundreds of other currencies that this silver has fought, gold has fought over the last hundreds of years. And guess what? Who do you think won? Gold, silver, precious metals have a perfect record in those fights. A perfect record over thousands of years. Imagine this. Imagine if we were in Las Vegas. Trust me, you don't want to go to Vegas with me. But you make a mistake, and we decide to go to Las Vegas. And we get to bet on this fight between precious metals and the US dollar. And we look at the tip sheet, and it says, well, let's see. Precious metals have had the same exact fight hundreds of times over thousands of years. And they've won every time. And then it says, and the dollar, it's really never been in this fight, right? Kind of, sort of, over the last 50 years. But what we know about the dollar is that it's continuously losing strength, whereas this has been perfect strength. Who would we bet on? Who would we bet on? I know who you'd bet on. It's who you're betting on right now. Okay. And I'll bet one thing also for sure. Okay. That is, well, I'll bet that I hope that you decide to come back to the basement. Thank you for joining us today. I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold, Canadian gold developer, founded by Keith Neumeyer. several multi-million ounce projects in Canada. Learn more about them at their website. Fortuna Mining, a producing silver and gold mining company with operations in Latin America and West Africa. And of course, our friends at Pimbex, Pimbex. You can learn more about them at pimbex.com. I have links to all these companies in the description of this video. They make Ron's Basement possible, but what really makes Ron's Basement possible is you. So have a great day. Be nice to yourself, okay? We'll do our best to be nice to other people. Don't get too worried about movements in the precious metals markets today, guys. You know, even if gold drops, silver to 27 over the next couple of weeks, gold down to 2,400, we're going to be okay. Trust me, okay? It's going to be a good end of the year. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you soon.